And good evening, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for knockout qualifying for our 5th race of the season here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are getting ready for knockout qualifying for the Folds of Honor 500. And as usual, we are going to be having our 2 heats where we will have a total of 7 drivers qualify their way into this week's Hersheys Cup Series main event. As usual, we're going to flip the coin. We're going to see what it comes up as, and it is tails this week. And so therefore 3 drivers will transfer from this first heat, 4 drivers will transfer from the second heat, top 3 fastest speeds from heat 1, top 4 fastest speeds from heat 2 will take part in this week's main event at Atlanta, which will be run under the lights. As you can see, we are under the lights here tonight, so they'll give these drivers a feel for what they can experience in the upcoming Hersheys Cup Series main event. Might give them a little bit of an edge on the field, too. And we are almost a full minute and a half through this session already, and just now, Andrew Davis in the 14 about to lay down the first lap, and that's a 30.542 for the Castrol GTX Chevrolet out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Sure, some drivers going to be very happy to get away from Bristol dirt that took place last week. A lot of drivers having ill-handling race cars and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I should say, it was Jake Bastinger picking up the victory, and he becomes the only driver so far to hold a victory, at least one victory, in every single season of the Hersheys Cup Series. He was a 2-time winner in the number 95 Ford Fusion in Season 1. He was a 1-time winner last season in that same 59th. He went to victory lane in this season last week for Fitzwater Australia Racing. And right now, Dougie Shears is tracking the fastest on the ticker with a 29.429. And as soon as I say that, he loses the top spot to the 9 of Jordan Lopez. Dougie Shears has yet to make a points-paying event this season. Made a few of them last season when he drove the 21 for Fitzwater Australia Racing, now over with Michael Norman Motorsports, and trying to make his way into the show. Right now, as things stand, it would be Jordan Lopez, Dougie Shears, and Joshua Osborne, and now Chris Dollerton up to the top of the leaderboard. Chris Dollerton's had a really fast Honda week in, week out. He's qualified his way into, I think, 2 events this season so far, and trying to get into his 3rd, as right now Jordan Lopez is still the fastest on track, 28.954, there he is. He must be getting just barely enough whiff of draft off that pack just up ahead of him, allowing him to run these lap times. And we'll see if he improves his lap time around this time, and doesn't look like it. 28.954, still the fastest lap laid down by the Twisted T Ford. Chris Dollerton and Dougie Shears now are in the top 3. Osborne has fallen out, and right behind the 9 car of Jordan Lopez, you've got there John Andrews in the 17. He's right now 5th on the scoring charts with a 29.2. This time by, still no improvement on the 9 car, but these 4 are shuffling it up as far as that 2nd position and 3rd position. Now it is Andrew Davis up to 2nd. 3rd place Dougie Shears, Joshua Osborne and Chris Dollerton just on the outside now in 4th and 5th. And they're catching up here to a couple more drivers. That's a Maury Studemeyer in the 19, and I believe it was, I couldn't tell. Oh, that's Elijah Gordon in the 29. And Chris Dollerton, top of the leaderboard. And that just dropped Jordan Lopez out of the top 3. It's now Dollerton, Davis, and Shears, the 3 fastest on track. 15 seconds remaining. Can somebody make something happen to jump up here into the top 3? Right now, Dollerton's in a good spot. So is Davis. Shears is on that bubble spot. Can he hang on to 3rd this lap? It looks like he did. And that might be enough to get him into his first race of the season. Same for Andrew Davis. Chris Dollerton trying to make his 3rd start of the year. As right now they sit in the top 3. There's 18 seconds left until the session will officially be complete, and I think lap times will no longer be counted. Maybe Elijah Gordon can do something here in that 29 car right behind these 3. Coming to the line, let's see if anybody jumps up into the top 3. Gordon jumped up to 7th. That won't be enough to challenge for a spot in the top 3 in speeds. It looks like it is going to be Chris Dollerton, Dougie Shears, and Andrew Davis, who will be making the main event race here this week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 10 seconds remaining. These drivers still running around the racetrack, but I'm pretty sure lap times are no longer being scored. So Chris Dollerton, in 5 races, will make his 3rd start of the season, and he'll be joined by a couple of drivers that will be making their first starts of Season 3. Drivers, Andrew Davis in the 14 and Dougie Shears in the 21. Jordan Lopez was up there near the top of the leaderboard for first half, but just couldn't get into a group of race cars and drops down to 4th, so he won't make the show. Neither will Joshua Osborne, Stephen Paul III, Elijah Gordon, Carmika Jazin, Daniel Gilbert, John Andrews. That was your top 10. Then on down, other drivers that will not be starting this race: Dalio, Shearer, McIntyre, Carter, Studemeyer, Salinas, Johnson, Balvin, Sidner, Jones, Alonso, and Colin Denton. So that's going to do it here for our first heat. 3 drivers transferring from this one. 4 drivers will transfer from the second heat. We're about to find out who they are in just a moment as coverage continues of non-charter knockout qualifying from Atlanta Motor Speedway in just a moment. So we're getting ready here now for our second heat of the evening. And we've already got some drivers taking advantage of coming off early. There's James Qualls. Now, both of his teammates actually had really, really good lap times here in the first heat. Andrew Davis, quick enough to make the show, and Joshua Osborne wasn't too far off. He was 5th fastest. So James Qualls going to take advantage of that. Probably did a little bit of powwowing with his 2 teammates, find out what he's got to do to try and make his first race of the season. And the Castrol GTX Chevrolet. And he is now on the clock, so we'll see what his first lap time laid down will be. A couple more drivers coming off pit road. There was James McLeod in the 51. Elijah Gilbert there in the 80. Heard somebody else just up ahead, but doesn't look like James Qualls is going to catch up to them for us to be able to see who it is. And the first official lap time laid down here in the second heat is a 30.85 or 893. There's Zachary Stoltz now coming onto the racetrack. Isaac Canepa now top of the leaderboard in the 43 car. There he is. Like we saw from the first heat, these drivers are going to want to get into a pack if they possibly can. It's going to allow them to run much faster lap times. As Chelsea Bowles just jumped up to 2nd with a 30.5. Let's see if we see any formation of cars getting together. We got right here Cody Hagan and Jason Haywood. These 2 could produce some speed as Elijah Gordon, using the draft off of James Qualls, jumped up to a 29.838. That was a pretty fast lap time there early on in this session for the Liberty University Ford. Car that is yet to make a main event here in the Hersheys Cup Series. Seth Cole drove the car at Daytona. Since then, Elijah Gilbert has taken over in that machine. And Gilbert, 29.406 right now, the top of the leaderboard. Johnny Gardner is now 2nd. And Zachary Stoltz currently is in the top 3 as William Duncan now jumps to the top of the leaderboard. And I hit the wrong button, I apologize. Oh, William Duncan caught up to these 2, Cody Hagan and Jason Haywood. That's how he laid down his lap time. Haywood right now in 4th, Hagan right now in 9th as they stand. And up to the top of the leaderboard goes Daniel Olson. He raced last week at Bristol Dirt, trying to make back-to-back races in that 47 car. Where's he at? Oh, this could be some pretty good speed right here. You got Sean Henley, Jonathan Zorlin, Chelsea Bowles, and Cole Deaver. Do any of them jump up to the top of the leaderboard from this group? No, they do not. The highest of these drivers is way down here. That's Jonathan Zorlin down in 12th. So these drivers did not produce a whole lot of speed. There's Daniel Olson. He's got a group behind him. That's Ryan George, Johnny Gardner, John Cittadino, I should say, and also DJ Curtis in the 77. Let's see if DJ, being at the tail end of this lead pack, if he can run a fast enough lap time to get to the top of the leaderboard here. And no, not this time. Right now, Jason Haywood, William Duncan, and Cody Hagan are your top three. As Elijah Gilbert comes to pit road, Isaac Canepa might jump up there into the top four. Nope, jumps up to 10th. But right there in your shot, the 60, 72, 46 right now would be transferring, along with Elijah Gilbert, who's currently sitting on pit road. They're 3 wide behind William Duncan here. It's not going to help them to improve their lap time. Johnny Gardner had thoughts about getting up into the top 4. He got up to 5th, but he couldn't quite beat Elijah Gilbert's lap time. Watch out maybe for Ryan George, John Cittadino. They might be able to do something as far as a lap time here, but they're running out of time as the ticker continues its way down, 15 seconds. This might be the money lap right here for Johnny Gardner, trying to eliminate Elijah Gordon out of the top 4. Can he do it? Yes, he did. 28.843 for Johnny Gardner. Move him up into the 4th position and currently into this week's Atlanta main event. Can he keep it there, though? That's the question. I think they're still counting lap times. Gardner hoping his 28.843 enough to hang on. Coming around this time. Can Gardner hold on to 4th, or will someone jump up there and take it? Looks like he's going to keep it. Nobody's going to challenge him. And Johnny Gardner gets by Elijah Gordon in the closing stages of the session. He'll be making his first start of the season. Cody Hagan, I believe he's making his 2nd start of the year. And I believe Jason Haywood and William Duncan both will be making their first starts of Season 3 here in the Hersheys Cup Series as well. For William Duncan, it will be his rookie debut in a points-paying event. Session will now come to a close. 0's on the clock. Qualifying is completed. And our 4 drivers that will transfer from this heat will be Jason Haywood, William Duncan, Cody Hagan, and Johnny Gardner. Just barely missing out, Daniel Olson, Elijah Gilbert, Ryan George. They were a 10th of a second off on their lap times. Zachary Stoltz, John Cittadino, and James McLeod were your top 10. And then Bowles, Qualls, Canepa, Henley, Zorlin, Curtis, Jefferson, Wright, Bunnell, London, Deaver, and Vernio all failed to make the race as well. So the 7 drivers at transfer will be Chris Dollerton, Andrew Davis, and Dougie Shears from Heat 1, Jason Haywood, William Duncan, Cody Hagan, and Johnny Gardner from Heat 2. Thank you all so much for tuning into this session. We will see you guys next for the Almond Joys series running here for their 5th race of the season. Then we cap it all off with the Folds of Honor 500 for our Hersheys Cup Series main event here at Atlanta. As you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.